Welcome to the Boat Galley Podcast. I'm Carolyn Shearlock, here with tips, reviews, and how-tos for your cruising adventure. This episode is sponsored by the Boat Galley Guide to Storing Food Without Refrigeration. Have truly great meals with fresh produce, meat, butter, cheese, eggs, and more, even if you don't have a refrigerator or it's tiny. This ebook is now on sale for just $7. Get an extra $1 off with the coupon code PODCAST. Slow down, slow down. What should you carry in the dinghy? What do you carry when you head off in the dinghy? That was the question I got from some new cruisers who had a bit of a scare when their dinghy engine quit, the tide was taking them out, and they realized that they didn't have oars, an anchor, or any way to call for help. Luckily, they were in an area with lots of other boats. Someone saw them, and they got a tow back to their boat. So here's a list of what Dave and I carry as our basic kit on the dinghy, plus anything we need for our planned activities. First, there's the legal requirements. Everywhere has slightly different rules, but the bare bones usually includes life jackets for each person, some sort of sound device, your registration, if motorized, a fire extinguisher, lights if you'll be out after dark, a bailing device, and some places may require flares or other signaling devices. Okay, all that keeps you legal. And in places that may not have laws, it's a good starting point. But you really do need a few other things. And the more remote the area you're in, the fewer other people nearby, the more additional gear that you are wise to carry. Let's look at the safety gear. If you run out of gas or have engine troubles, and the tide or wind are going the wrong way, what's to keep you from going out to sea? What if you fall out of the dinghy? First thing to always have is the engine kill lanyard, and be sure to wear it. You need oars, you need anchor and plenty of road. Next is a handheld VHF fully charged. You may also want to have a cell phone in a waterproof case. And you also need a way to get in the dinghy from the water. Don't just assume you can pull yourself in. It takes more upper body strength than you think. And some dinghies, particularly hard dinghies, can be very tippy. Try your setup in a safe place before you really need it. And if you're going to use a ladder or some type, make sure you can launch it from the water. Should you go overboard accidentally when you're alone in the dinghy, you have to be able to get back in by yourself too. And be sure to note, to effectively row the dinghy, you're going to need a seat in the dinghy. Many people, such as us, take the seat out of the dinghy to make it easier to carry stuff. In this case, the oars work better as paddles, one on each side, or, if you're alone, at the bow and alternating sides. Additional safety and security equipment that you may want to have. A cable and lock in places where there's a theft problem. A bow line. We like having a stern line too, as it's sometimes helpful to tie up bow and stern at a particular dock or anchor. Water bottles. If your motor conks out or the current is too strong for you to row, don't compound the problem by getting dehydrated. Sunscreen, and also a roll of duct tape. It can make an emergency patch as well as an emergency bandage. Before heading out in the dinghy, particularly for a longer excursion, be sure to check your gas level and that the VHF is charged. Have fun on your next dinghy trip, and until next time. Thanks for listening. If you like the show, please be sure to subscribe in your podcast app. Just search for the Boat Galley Podcast. And reviews are always appreciated. Until next time, then. Slow down, slow down.